Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Tackett, and I'm honored to be your Mistress of Ceremonies this evening. Welcome to this glorious celebration of the 175th anniversary of our beloved Defiance College. Defiance College is a very special place to me. I've had the honor of working here nearly 12 years, of my career in the enrollment management area in two different chunks of time. 7.5 years the first time from, I'll date myself, 1994 to 2001. That's when I met you, Jim. And then about 5 years the second time when I was here from 2010 to 2015, all in the enrollment management area. So Defiance College has been and always will be a very special place to me. So I feel blessed that I've been asked to be here tonight for this very special occasion as we celebrate the college's 175th anniversary. And let's give the college a round of applause for that milestone. Now, John Troutman asked me to MC this evening when he attended the Chamber Awards banquet back in September, and Dr. Rich Ann Mankey, our college president, was honored with an award that night at the Chamber banquet, the Michael A. Schultz Leadership Award. And she didn't know about it, but her team of people did. So they made sure she got there. You know, it's a nice thing to go to support the Chamber, wink, wink. And here she was the honoree of the night. And I understand that evening is when John sort of, tapped Rich Ann and said, I think there's your MC for this evening. So ever since September, John has been saying, hey, what are you and Jeff going to sing at the gala? Hey, do you have your song picked out yet? What are you going to sing? Well, you know what, John? I kind of brushed it off, but I do have a surprise for you. We're not going to be singing tonight. And mostly because of cough medicine and things like that. But sometime. So we want to thank all of you for being here tonight to help us celebrate. And we also want to thank the many sponsors who have helped put this evening together. And join me in thanking all of our sponsors that are listed on your program. At this time, I'm very pleased to introduce to you a very special woman of the hour, Dr. Rich Ann Mankey, Rich Ann C. Mankey, has served as the 19th and first female president of the college since 2015. During her tenure, she has focused on strengthening the college's academic foundation, expanding STEM programs, and securing nearly $9 million in grant funding and increasing enrollment. Under her leadership, the college launched the Tri-River Alliance in 2021 and dedicated a new water lab in 2023. Dr. Mankey holds leadership roles with the National Association of Independent Colleges and Universities and the Ohio Foundation of Independent Colleges. She is also actively involved in the Defiance community leadership and local strategic planning efforts, and selfishly, as co-executive director at the Strady Center for the Arts. My husband Jeff and I are very pleased that she's one of our board members at the Strady Center. Very special place to us, so thank you for that. Dr. Mankey has earned her doctorate from the Teachers College, Columbia University, and degrees from Ohio Northern University and the University of Dayton. Her husband, Michael, is with us this evening as well. Are you always the additional Ann Michaels here, too? But we're glad that you're here. It's good to see you. Please welcome someone I'm so proud to call my friend, Rich Ann Mankey.
Thank you, Sarah, and thank you for saying yes to being our MC. I know that you had something else planned for this evening and made changes, so very much appreciate that. What an exciting time for Defiance College. On the back cover of a book, Making a Difference for 150 Years, A Pictorial History of Defiance College, is a quote by Dr. Wilson Compton. Colleges do not grow by themselves. They are built by people who believe in them. You are here tonight because you believe in Defiance College. As we've been preparing for this celebration, it has become clear that having existed for 175 years is an exceptional accomplishment. Congratulations to all of our trustees, administrators, faculty, and staff members, coaches, and students who have gone before us. Thank you. In an historical book about Defiance College, to be made available at homecoming this year, the author, Mary Marvel, who is here tonight, tells the history of the college. DC's story is one of resilience. Our resilience would not be possible without the incredible leadership of DC's trustees and our leadership team. Would our trustees, former trustees, cabinet members, and my husband, Mike, please stand to be recognized. Thank you so much for your service to this special place. Of course, everyone on campus plays an integral part in making the college function day to day, week by week, year by year. We are grateful for everyone who follows those who have gone before them. Our current students are sitting at tables with many of our alumni and alumni who graduated in the last several decades. My guess is that their stories, past and present, about special faculty and staff members through the decade, though the decades are different, are very similar stories, only the names have changed. They would likely tell you that someone saw their potential and helped them realize it. Today, we have adopted that practice as our purpose for the college. We call it transformative learning. Defiance College is still a liberal arts-based college which has been its foundation since 1850. The first graduating class included 6 women and 5 men. That was in 1888. Today, we graduate significantly larger classes. DC's most populated majors are education, exercise science, social work, and education. Did I say education? And business. We've added majors and concentrations to support workforce needs in the early 21st century, such as civil, electrical, and mechanical engineering in partnership with the University of North Dakota. The McMaster School for Advancing Humanities is 20 years old this year. It is the brainchild of Dr. James Harris, who you'll hear from later this evening, and of the late Drs. Harold and Helen McMaster, who endowed the school to support community-based research and service around the world. The Schaffler School endowment came to DC in 1967 in a competitive bid process that was spearheaded at DC by the late Dosha Carlson. It remains and supports the social work program, as well as classes in religious studies. And in 2017, DC was awarded a $1 million gift from a family foundation to endow the Charles K. and Esther C. Krieger Visiting Scholar Program through a connection with a former trustee of the college and alumnus, Stuart Sakasitz, who is here tonight. A $1 million planned estate gift from Dr. Jane Sherman and her late husband, Dr. Richard Sherman, established endowed scholarships in the name of Dr. Bernie McCullough and Dr. James Fry. Just recently, DC was notified of a $1.2 million estate gift that will add to an existing scholarship and provide support in the areas of science, technology, engineering, and math. These gifts, the gifts that you have given through the years, and future gifts will come to fruition, make such a difference to Defiance College students who benefit from the success and generosity of past students, employees, and trustees. Currently, new programs to address the dire professional workforce development needs for companies have been established to help students be value-added from day one in their first professional position, whether immediately upon graduation or after graduate school. Jacket Journey, a nationally unique award-winning career readiness program, is recognized for students and is offered for credit. It scaffolds learning as students advance in their studies at DC to defy the ordinary. Students discover, they engage, they formulate, and then they initiate. Coming up in April will be the McMaster Symposium and Academic Colloquium, where students' research is featured. It is a great day to explore what students are learning. It is free and open to the public, so we hope to see many of you there. An affordable college education makes a lifetime difference in the quality of people's lives and their families' lives. We continue to live the decades-held mission of Defiance College: to know, to understand, to lead, and to serve. It is a noble mission that guides many of our graduates as they navigate complex decision-making of their careers and their families. At Defiance College, we teach students how to think, not what to think, so that they may be adaptable for life. We want them to be prepared professionals, civic stewards, and community leaders wherever their lives take them. Tomorrow, there are activities for what is officially Founders Day. So we hope you'll join us at 10:30 a.m. at St. John UCC, at 12:30 p.m. in the Women's Commission Art Gallery for a reception and historical exhibit. And Ellen, the student who designed that exhibit, is here tonight with us. And then again at 1:30 p.m. in Schaumburg Auditorium for our Founders Day presentation. This week, we have had student activities planned for each day of the week. Other events for our year-long celebration are listed on the back of your program. Tonight, we celebrate 175 years of Defiance College. We also start another 175 years of history being made right here in Northwest Ohio. Recently, I asked trustees and campus employees to take a meditative walking tour of campus with me to visualize what it might look like 20 years from now. That will be 2045. As a summary, we've visualized a walk by state-of-the-art campus buildings, complete with updated classrooms and laboratories, athletic facilities that are the envy of other schools who have come to compete against our Yellow Jackets, an ice rink where Webster Street tees into Stadium Drive for round-the-clock activities that include competitive ice hockey, synchronized skating, as well as community skate and skating lessons. The Buckman Shagbark Hickory Grove with trees that now have some girth of trunk. And finally, overflowing residence halls, apartments, and new townhouses, because DC has consistently maintained its student body at 1,000 students. The exercise allows us to envision the future as we celebrate our 175th anniversary. With tonight's celebration, we take that step into our future. Of course, our experiences this weekend would not be possible without the co-chairs of our 175th Anniversary Celebration Committee, Mary Marvel and John Troutman, members of the 175th Steering Committee, as well as the advancement team of Sherry McCoy, Marcia Moore, and Jennifer Willits, and countless other DC staff members who have been instrumental preparing not just this beautiful space, but also our exterior spaces after winter. Thank you all. DC's future is exciting, and we ask you to support current and future students. You can do that with an annual gift, a recurring gift, or an estate or planned gift, as well as with your time and your talent. Come back to Jacket Days and talk to our current students about what their future might look like. Our food service, waiting to serve you in the back of the room, Hallmark Management Services out of Columbus, not only assembled a unique and special menu for us tonight, they donated it all so that the proceeds might support DC scholarships. Brian West, the president, is standing directly back there waving at you. Thank you. The menus are on your table so that you can see how they've named these scrumptious delights. Please enjoy Hallmark's creativity as we reminisce about a place and past and envision the future of the place we call Defiance College. As the African proverb reminds us, if you want to go fast, we go alone. If we want to go far, we go together. Thank you for being with us tonight.
It's been brought to my attention that the sponsors are not on the back of your program. So if I may, join me in thanking Hallmark Management Incorporated, All Occasions LLC for the beautiful decor, Meyer, Mrs. Luana Bogue, Ms. Lynn DeSherbinen, Dr. Rich Ann C. and Mr. Michael A. Mankey, and Dr. John and Mrs. Julie Troutman, this evening's sponsors. Join me in thanking them. And now for the blessing on our meal. Leading us in prayer this evening will be Reverend Dr. David Long Higgins, Conference Minister of the Heartland Conference of the United Church of Christ. Reverend Dr. David Long Higgins brings a wealth of experience and expertise to his role, grounded in over 3 decades of pastoral leadership. He earned a Bachelor of Arts in Psychology and Music with a focus on violin performance. Are you ready for a number? Can you perform for us this evening? No. Okay. Never. Was that out loud? I'm sorry. From Heidelberg University and a Master of Divinity from United Theological Seminary of the Twin Cities in New Brighton, Minnesota. Additionally, he is a graduate of the Wellstream's Spiritual Direction Program, offered by the Spirituality Network of Columbus, Ohio. Please welcome Reverend Dr. David Long Higgins. And you're over here, not over there.
Good evening, friends. It is a delight to be with you. Before I offer the prayer, I want to say a word of thanks to you all. There is a remarkable legacy that you know has been planted in the life of the human family because of Defiance College. Dr. Mankey especially, I want to thank you for your leadership, your vision, and your deep sense of commitment to the church, especially our connection with the United Church of Christ. Defiance is one of our 2 UCC colleges within the Heartland Conference, which is all of the UCC congregations in Ohio, 1 in West Virginia, and 8 in Northern Kentucky. I'm aware that there are many in the world who have been formed in faith because of the remarkable legacy that is the Christian formation program that Defiance College over the years has led and held. It is an extraordinary gift. And I just want to name that this evening, in addition to the many other legacies that Defiance College continues to offer into the space of this remarkable season of history in which we live, where we really need people who know not just what to think, but how to think. So thank you for that. Will you join your heart with mine in prayer? Holy Love, we thank you for everything that nourishes and strengthens us in our lives. We thank you especially for places like Defiance College, where your beloved human family is formed for thinking, formed for service, formed for a vision of a world of thriving, where more and more of your people may discover their deep calling and delight. By this we are strengthened by your Spirit. We are also strengthened by food that nourishes and strengthens our bodies. So we pray your blessing on it. Especially this evening, we give you thanks for 175 rich years of educational legacy that now stands as the springboard into a future where this beloved institution may continue to nurture and cultivate learning that will serve the human family. So bless us as we are together tonight. Hold us as you do in your heart. Strengthen us through our conversations. Lead us with your Spirit. We pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Our dinner this evening will be served in stations around our banquet area, and the team at Hallmark will dismiss us by tables so that we can partake of that. There is a delicious list of all of the food on your table. Be sure to take a look at that. It will be exquisite cuisine, so please enjoy your dinner. Well, wasn't that a delicious meal? My goodness, let's show our appreciation to the talented chefs of Hallmark Management. Just delicious. Well, now I have the honor of introducing to all of you our keynote speaker, Dr. James T. Harris III. Served as our 16th president of Defiance College from 1994 to 2002, and he's currently the president of the University of San Diego. Dr. James T. Harris III served as our 16th president, where he transformed the institution into a national leader in service learning by integrating community engagement directly into academic programs. During his tenure, he initiated key graduate programs that expanded the college's educational offerings and oversaw significant enhancements to the campus. One of his most notable achievements was the creation of the McMaster School for Advancing Humanity, a pioneering initiative aimed at fostering global citizenship and addressing critical international issues. Following his impactful leadership at Defiance College, Dr. Harris went on to serve as president of Widener University in Pennsylvania, where he continued to champion innovation in education and institutional growth. Currently, he leads the University of San Diego as their 4th president, where his leadership focuses on strengthening both the university's infrastructure and its commitment to all students. And he finally realized if you move to California, you get warm weather. He went Ohio to Pennsylvania, and now hopefully warm in San Diego. A first-generation college student himself, Dr. Harris brings a deeply personal perspective to his role. In addition to serving as president, he is also a professor of leadership at USD, sharing his expertise, inspiring the next generation of leaders. His visionary initiatives have left a lasting impact on each institution he has served. He and his wife, Mary, have 2 now grown boys. Isn't it something how our little ones are now all grown up? And we had a chance to reminisce before the evening started, and we both, my husband and I, and he and Mary, are enjoying, each of us, our first grandchild, about 2 years old, Eleanor James, I think you said. And what a blessing that is. So it's wonderful to see you again, Jim. Please make welcome Dr. Jim Harris.
Thank you, Sarah, for that gracious introduction. I was calculating, I was sitting at the table, so when Mary and I lived in Defiance, we went to every possible community theater event. And it seemed like the person who had the lead in every one of those was Sarah. And so I was thinking of all the plays that I've seen in my lifetime, I think the leading lady has always been, it seems like more you than anybody else. So it's great to see you again. I want to thank John Troutman for what he's done tonight and putting this together and inviting me to be here. And I also want to thank President Mankey. Rashan is amazing in her leadership of this institution. I don't know if there's a tougher job, and I know that I'm in one of those roles, than being the president of a faith-based small liberal arts college. And then at our table, we actually had 2 previous presidents of small liberal arts colleges, and they seem happier than Rashan and I sitting there as the current active presidents. 31 years ago, I was interviewing here. I was 35 years old, and I was in front of the Board of Trustees in old Enders Hall. And remember Enders. And at the end of dinner, I was told to stand up and give a speech, and so I talked a little bit about my background. And there was a trustee on the board at that time by the name of Dr. John Bauer. And Dr. Bauer was probably in his late 70s at the time. And he raises his hand, and I'm to answer his question. He looks out over his glasses at me, and he says, "You look mighty young to be a college president." And I don't know why this came across my mind at the time, but I said, well, at least that's one bad thing about me I'll outgrow. Well, tonight I come to you a voice from the past, and who you can clearly see has outgrown looking too young. And there are 3 themes that I'd like to share with you tonight as I talk about a place that all of us cherish and dearly love, Defiance College. And those 3 themes tonight are opportunity, courage, and sacrifice. So to help me explain these 3 themes, I want to talk about a story that we're all very familiar with, and that's the story of David and Goliath. Now, we all know the story. The Philistines are against the Israelites. They're on the verge of battle. And as was the custom at that time, instead of having the battle between the 2 sets of troops, you could send out your best warrior. And of course, Philistines sent out Goliath, the giant. He was their best armed hand-to-hand combat person. And he, who was going to win this battle, right? So whoever between the 2 won, that both armies would go away and you'd have a victory. And Goliath was skilled in having a sword and a shield. And obviously the Israelites had no one to match him. There was nobody that was going to go out and face this giant. And we all know the story. David is blessed by God. He goes out, he has his sling, and as the story goes, he gets the shot. He knocks Goliath down, cuts off his head. The rest is history. And for centuries, David versus Goliath has come to represent a battle between 2 foes, where one virtually has no shot of winning. And you might think that the reason I bring this up is because Defiance College has always been viewed as the David. We're a small, faith-based liberal arts college, and given the competition here in Ohio and around the region, large research universities, massive online programs, and while that is partly true why I bring this up, because Defiance is clearly a David versus a Goliath, I think it has and reveals a deeper meaning. You see, according to historians, when armies went to battle at that time, they had 3 types of soldiers. They had the warrior, Goliath. They had archers who would stand back and shoot from a long distance, but they also had those who were experts with a sling. So the reason David won, besides God's help, isn't that he chose not to fight Goliath's fight. In fact, in Samuel, when you read in the Bible, it'll talk about how they tried to give him a sword and a shield, and he said, no, I'm not going to do that. Basically, he did what he did best. He was his authentic self. So for 175 years, Defiance College has exemplified what David did in his battle with Goliath. David saw an opportunity to prove himself. He had the courage to step into the arena, and he finally was willing to sacrifice himself if he had to for the greater good of his people. And so allow me to explore those 3 themes tonight: opportunity, courage, and sacrifice as they relate to Defiance College. During the Depression, Defiance College and Dr. Mankey has talked about how resilient this institution has been over 175 years, and we remained open against incredible odds. At that time, back in the Depression, there was a young man growing up in a tenement farm in Deschler, Ohio. He was very bright, but couldn't afford to go to college, didn't have the money for it. And Defiance College had very little money, but they had some to give, so they were very selective in to whom they would award a scholarship. And they offered it to this young man that we're all familiar with now, Harold McMaster. He'd go on to graduate from D.C., become a pioneer in the glass industry. During his time in college, he fell in love, with a young woman named Helen, and they would tell the story of how they secretly married and lived in 2 different dormitories for 2 years, and no one knew that they had been married. And they would go on to change the world. And as we know, Fortune magazine called Harold the glass genius, and he was inducted into the Engineering and Science Hall of Fame. He's in there with Orville and Wilbur Wright. He's in there with Neil Armstrong. I mean, we're talking about a real heavy hitter here. But he and Helen decided they would share their blessings with the world and became 2 of the greatest philanthropists that Northwestern Ohio has ever known. They gave to museums, they gave to educational institutions, they gave to hospitals. And in the late 1990s, Harold and Helen, Mary, my wife, and I were having lunch together. And we were talking about a gift that they had made to help us build Sarek Hall. And we were thanking them for that. And for some reason, I asked Harold, I said, Harold, you've accomplished so much. And if you could do anything with your philanthropy, what would it be? And he paused, and he looked at Helen, his eyes filled with a tear, and he said, we've been so fortunate to travel the world, and we've seen so much, but it's opened our eyes to suffering and in the world. So if we could do anything with our philanthropy, it'd be towards the elimination of human suffering. Now, of course, I'm thinking, wow, can we think any bigger than that, right? At the elimination of human suffering. So that began a multi-year conversation that led to a discussion about how Defiance College could play a role and to lead to the creation of what we have today, the McMaster School for the Advancement of Humanity. But Harold and Helen weren't the only 2 students Defiance College gave an opportunity to. And over this 175 years, number of people, buildings that we have named Carl Wiener, Keith Hubbard, people who were luminaries, they too were given an opportunity, and they wouldn't have had a college degree without attending Defiance College. So we've always been, you think about it, we've always been about providing greater access to higher education and preparing students to become active and engaged citizens in our democracy. Think about after World War II, Defiance College actually changed its mission and its focus, and we brought in veterans. We had Quonset huts that used to be over here on the other side of campus. We revamped the curriculum, and we provided opportunities to veterans who served our country. In fact, if you go back to the founding, as Rishan was talking about earlier, the Defiance Seminary for Women, yes, we had men and women in that first class, which was co-ed. And in the late 19th century, that was unusual. So here we were being innovative again and actually providing an opportunity to both genders. And as my friend Don Knaus, who's a former board chair of Clorox Company, is fond of saying, he said, there is talent everywhere, but there's not always opportunity. So providing opportunity and access has always been at the core of this remarkable college. And as we look to the future, I have no doubt that we'll find new ways to serve other populations that haven't had a chance to go to higher education as well. Now, what about the concept of courage? So David had courage to fight Goliath. The one story that sticks with me, and I was talking earlier about this young woman who attended Defiance when I was here, a woman by the name of Maggie Malloy. I graduated, I think, in 2002. When I first met Maggie, Maggie was kind of a quirky first-year student. She was active on campus, a member of the women's cross-country team and track. She was always upbeat, had a great sense of humor, and it wasn't until later in my time here at DC that I found out about her story. You see, in high school, Maggie was running with her friends cross-country. She was separated, went down a different route that afternoon, and she was assaulted by a man who shot her and left her to die in a ditch. She recovers from that. She had different plans. She decided no one day was going to change her life. And she had the courage and the will to work her way back to good health and running again, and she ends up at Defiance College. But that wasn't all. When she gets to Defiance College, she was a student athlete, but she also was a student leader. She gets in a car wreck, and she breaks her pelvic bone in multiple places, and is told that she'll never run again. There was a scene like out of Rocky where she's talking to her coach here, and she looks up to him in the hospital bed and says, I'm going to run again. And sure enough, the next season she was running. That year, the NCAA decided they were going to create an award for the college athletes who most exemplified courage. They were going to give 2 awards, to a man and to a woman. And they said in overcoming obstacles, they created this, they called it the NCAA Inspiration Award. So we nominated Maggie, and she was one of the first 2 athletes ever in the United States in the history of the NCAA to win that prestigious honor. In her post-life in Defiance College, I just looked her up, she's dedicated herself to being a victim's advocate and works to help stop violence against women. So Maggie's clearly a great example of courage. but hundreds, if not thousands, of Defiance College graduates have demonstrated courage. Whether it was by serving our country in the military or in the Peace Corps, by having the courage to start their own business, to become a missionary or a minister. They've had the courage to take on society's greatest challenges. They've become scientists and social workers and human rights advocates, or even becoming a teacher or a coach. And yes, it does take courage to be a teacher or a coach. Our graduates leave this place as critical thinkers, as problem solvers, well prepared for their chosen careers. But more than that, thanks to our commitment to the liberal arts, we graduate compassionate servant leaders who have the courage to fight the giants that roam our planet. And at a time of artificial intelligence, there's never been more important to know what it means to be human. And by focusing on the arts, on the humanities, and on the social sciences, Defiance College prepares courageous change makers who are never afraid to face the challenge that's before them. Now, what about the idea of sacrifice? Where does that play a role in the history of Defiance College? Well, let me share a story with you that you might be familiar with. There was this student at Defiance College who was uncertain about what their major might be or what they were going to do with their life. They were an average student, and the light of curiosity had not quite been lit. They enrolled in a class. They had a faculty member who got them excited about a subject, ignited something within them, something they didn't know existed. Or they had a coach who went beyond the call of duty, who spent one-on-one time with them or spent time after practice or out of season to help make them a better athlete. Or maybe it was that staff member who hired them as a work-study student, who helped them grow as young professionals, or wrote a great reference letter for them to go to graduate school or maybe to get their first job. Now, who are those faculty, the staff and coaches? They are the people that have sacrificed much to make the life of a student better. And they are the faculty members at Defiance College. People like Carolyn Small, people like Randy Buckman, Bob Beam, Zeke Fry, Bernie McCullough, Bonnie Sloan, all these faculty, Don Knieve, Dwayne Hocking, Jeff Weiner, Dick Strady. You can go on and on throughout our history of the great faculty members that we've had at this institution that have changed people's lives. But it doesn't stop there. Incredible staff. People like Craig Rudder and Bev Harrington, and Ray Darricott, if you remember Ray, Jerry Malott, what an incredible human being, Dick Small. These are the people that really just change the lives of people. And one person who never wants to take credit for anything, and that is John Troutman as well. This fits into that category very nicely. Right? Let's give him a round of applause. But there are countless others, whether on the board of trustees, whether it's those who've been benefactors to the university, local community leaders, who sacrificed much to serve this college. In fact, there have been times when they couldn't even be paid. There's a time back in the Depression where we couldn't even pay our faculty, and they still stayed here and worked with the students. Even back in the 90s when we couldn't give a salary increase, our faculty still remained committed to what they do on this campus. These are the people who could have taught or worked anywhere. I think of like a Don Burke or anybody like that that's been a tremendous faculty member. They could have taught anywhere, and they decided to choose and spend their life at Defiance College, and the world is a better place because of it. Now, during a time of great divide in our country, when it seems that no one can agree on anything, and maybe that the world is a mess, it's good to know that Defiance College keeps living out its mission: to know, to understand, to lead, and to serve. In a world filled with Goliaths, we need more Davids. We need places like Defiance College, faith-based liberal arts colleges who know who they are and what they do well, and that is to prepare students for life as engaged and active citizens. And hopefully, with God's grace and support from all of us in this room, DC will continue to provide opportunity to act with courage and to make sacrifices necessary to create a better world. May God continue to bless Defiance College with another 175 years. God bless you all.
Thank you, Jim. So many great memories that come to my mind when you hear Jim spoke. Amy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So many wonderful people in this room that have been here over the decades that I got to work with, and it's good to see many of you here today. But Jim, what a blessing to get to hear from you today. So thank you for coming all the way back to Defiance to celebrate with us. And now we're going to hear from the chair of our Board of Trustees. Dr. Robert L. Head III is President Emeritus of Rockford University, who served as its president from 2008 to 2016, leaving a lasting legacy of leadership and vision. Prior to his tenure at Rockford, he was president of Urbana University and held key leadership roles at Benedictine University and Northern Trust Company, showcasing his broad expertise across higher education and finance. During his time at Rockford University, the institution achieved record-breaking enrollments and prioritized distinction, growth, and international engagement through a well-crafted strategic plan. Dr. Head remains an active leader in the community, serving on several boards, including chairman at Defiance College, where he continues to contribute his extensive experience and insights. He holds degrees from Defiance College, the University of Toledo, and Benedictine University. Dr. Head and his wife Cheryl currently reside in Ponte Vedra, Florida, where they enjoy spending time with their family, including their 3 adult children. Please welcome Dr. Robert Head.
Well, good evening and welcome to this 175th celebration of our anniversary. As Henry VIII told his many wives, "My dears, I won't keep you long." As the current chair of the Defiance College Board of Trustees, I have the privilege of serving alongside 19 other men and women who are passionately committed to this wonderful institution. Most of them, like me, are graduates of our beloved institution. All of them serve with one commitment in mind: to steward Defiance College in a manner that will ensure that future generations of students will be blessed with the same educational experiences that we all enjoyed. This task is made possible thanks to the great work of Dr. Mankey, her team, our faculty, and our staff. I'm proud to share with those who inquire of me about Defiance College that we have an array of academic programs that will prepare you for life. I'm pleased to share with those inquirers that we also have wonderful experiences that are nationally renowned, like Jacket Journey and the McMaster School. I'm proud to share with you that we had an 80% increase in enrollment, new student enrollment, from fall of 2023 to fall of 2024. And as a result, our financial outlook is positive and upwardly trending. Even with the ever-changing landscape of today's higher education environment, the college has responded with positive strategic actions and has been rewarded with exemplary success. Today, we have the privilege of acknowledging and celebrating this 175th anniversary. It is an honor for me to serve Defiance College, as so many of us have done before, with both passion and with zeal. It is a tribute to those who came before us that so many of you are here to celebrate this special occasion. While others are rightfully credited with founding the college, we have been passed the mantle and are responsible for its stewardship and continued improvement. No matter your role, thank you for accepting that challenge. Thank you for your dedication and admirable work in ensuring the future generations of students will be able to know, to understand, to lead, and to serve. May God continue to bless our beloved Defiance College. Thank you.
And now for the perspective of a current student, I'm pleased to introduce Breton Basford. He will graduate in 2027, fingers crossed. He's on track, right? Currently serving as president of Defiance College Student Senate. He's a sophomore here at Defiance College, pursuing a degree in molecular biology. He hails from the rural town of Pennville in Jay County, Indiana. I had to look it up. Population 675. 74 at the moment, because he's here. He grew up in a close-knit community where his family raises livestock and breeds corgi puppies. He's dedicated to his academic and personal growth and combines his passion for science with his roots in agricultural life. In addition to serving as president of the Student Senate, Breton is captain of the men's golf team here at Defiance College. And I've learned over dinner he's also lovingly known as his mother's baby boy. You shared that, I had to share it. Please welcome Breton Basford.
She does call me baby boy. As much as I try to tell her not to, too. I mean, what the heck? Good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me yet, my name is Breton Basford. For those of you who do, tell them something good about me. I am a sophomore here at Defiance College studying biology. I came here from my hometown of Pennville, Indiana, a very small rural town in the southeastern part of the state. I came here having done very few clubs in high school, but now this is my home. I am the Student Senate President here, a captain of the golf team. I'm the student representative to both the Board of Trustees and the Alumni Executive Board. I represent an SAAC, and I also play pickleball. Wasn't that kind of a list? But yes, that is what Defiance College is. It is a college campus united as one through opportunity. Through the ability for every single student who walks on this campus to be able to try and do anything. There is no difficulty joining our clubs, no barriers set up to deter those away. New things and people are at a hair's breadth away at any given moment. After seeing dozens of other colleges while traveling, I do not even have to think to say that this place is special. And this is thanks to you. You, the donors, the ones who make this possible. Without your fundamental support, this campus would be crippled. You are the legs behind us, the student body, and we thank you. We thank you for your current and your future support. And we hope to see you for years to come when we graduate and return for our time to give back to our alma mater. Thank you.
And I know you make your family very proud, I can just tell. And now please welcome back Dr. Mankey for a very special announcement.
I hope you all enjoyed dinner. It was a test, and I think we passed. As Breton was talking, I thought, we have students sitting at our tables. Would our students please stand and let everybody see where you are and who you are? Thank you for being with us tonight. I'd like to ask Ed Buell to join me on the stage, please. Would you do that, Ed? He said he wasn't coming. Stand right here, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Please. All right. Mr. Ed Buell graduated from Defiance College in 1973 with a BA in history. After many years as a professional in the insurance and risk management industry, Ed retired as Senior Vice President, Secretary for the Central Mutual Insurance Companies. With a commitment to the highest ethics and relationship management, he has worked tirelessly to advance the insurance business. Ed Buell has served Defiance College as a trustee, with his first term beginning in 1995. In his role as trustee, he chaired numerous committees, including the Finance Committee. He led the board as its chairman from 2015 to 2017. In the presidential transition of 2015-16, Ed served as interim president and led a significant portion of the strategic planning process. He was also a great precursor to my arrival. Longtime resident of Van Wert, he and his wife Tavi moved to Westfield, Indiana upon his retirement from Central Insurance. The move was to be near the grandchildren. Their children too, but I think the grandchildren mostly. Always generous to Defiance College, several years ago, Ed made a decision to support DC in perpetuity. With few institutions in the Northwest Ohio region offering concentrations in insurance and risk management, Defiance College is recognizing Mr. Buell for his $100,000 contribution to establish an endowed faculty line for insurance and risk management academic concentration. This endowed fund will provide salary support for a faculty member in the newly established concentration of insurance and risk management within the business department at the college. Ed, as we commemorate your longtime service and your generosity, we have a plaque. There we go. It's beautiful, and it says, "With appreciation to Edward R. Buell in recognition of your endowed gift to support of the Edward Buell Fund for Insurance and Risk Management Program, presented this 22nd day of March, 2025. Thank you so much. We're so very grateful to call you an alum and a friend. Anything to say?
Some of you that know me are worried right now, but don't. I just want to say a couple things. One, I've been blessed in my life to be able to do something like this. And part of that gratitude goes to this institution, which has meant so much to me. And so many people tonight have used the word how special Defiance College is, and it is a very special place. So this discussion with President Mankey started about 5 years ago, and I talked to her about how can I give back, and we focused on scholarships, and I wanted to combine my love for this college with my passion for the business. And one of the things about the insurance business is it's been speculated that over the next decade, there will be a 6% increase in job opportunities annually. So there are a lot of great opportunities out there. And lived in Van Wert, Ohio, she said, and there's a lot of great insurance companies in the state of Ohio. There's a lot of great insurance savings. So there's a lot of opportunities. And what I was hoping to accomplish is to get some of the young people that go to Defiance College that may not want to leave the area to know that there are opportunities out there. And hopefully this scholarship will benefit them. So thank you very much. And I just want to say thank you for coming and support the scholarships.
Thank you. Yes. Here. Ed. And I think it would be well to recognize that John Troutman has come back to the leadership table 3 times during my 10 years to serve as a volunteer advancement professional. So let's thank John again. Okay, hold up your glass. At Defiance College, past, present, and future, we meet our students where they are. We inspire them to see their potential. We engage transformative learning to help students critically think. We continue to learn in order to inspire learning. We use emotional intelligence to draw people into the conversation. We engage Covey's Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. And something I don't have written down, but related to 80% over last year, this year, we just hit our 163rd deposit, which is up about 63 over last year at this time. So, here. Here's to our year-long 175th celebration and to DC's next 175 years. Here. Okay.
Well, what a wonderful evening. Let's have a round of applause for just the beauty of this space, Defiance College. We'd like to thank all of you for being here. We'd like to thank the generosity of our sponsors. Once again, Hallmark Management Incorporated, All Occasions LLC, Meyer, Mrs. Luana Bogue, Ms. Lynn DeSherbinen, Dr. Rich Ansi and Mr. Michael A. Mankey, and Dr. John and Mrs. Julie Troutman. Thank you to our sponsors, for all of you, and we wish Defiance College much success. Have a wonderful weekend. Good night, and God bless.